Welcome to Pickles. I'm Amir Bagdachi. Pickles is the show where you are in a predicament, a situation, a jam. And actually, I was in Grayling, Michigan, a couple weeks ago now, driving around. I saw a church sign. You know church signs. It said, forbidden fruit makes many jams, which I thought really kind of made forbidden fruit sound nice. Up to this point, I thought forbidden fruit, created shame, guilt, rot, would make you lose your eternal soul. Not really. Wasn't aware that its main product was breakfast bread. I don't know anything about this church. Maybe they are a very progressive, liberal church. Maybe their next sign is adultery breeds Danishes. Don't know. But anyway, yes. Okay, Pickles, you're in some predicament situation, and you don't need advice. Advice is moralistic. Advice tells you what to do. You don't need that. What you need are talking points, spin doctoring, so you can slip your way out of that situation. And that's what we're here to provide. So today I got actually quite a lot to chat through. Check this out. Took lots of notes on the Pickles today. But before we get started, a little bit of listener feedback. Someone wrote in to say at helpme.pickles@gmail.com. Someone wrote in to say, can you talk just a little slower? Want you to know, here at Pickles, we are all about criticism. We love criticism. We understand the value of criticism. Criticism is super important, which is why I say to you in reply, why don't you turn down the playback speed? Because criticism goes both ways. You think you can criticize me? I can criticize you. You're not powerless in the situation, okay? I'm doing my side. I'm being me. And what you need to do is be you. So turn me down. Change me. I won't know. All right, our first pickle. How do I give a good apology? That is like such a good question, right? There are lots of schools of thought about this, but I think fundamentally, this is a beautiful thing to be able to do well, artfully, gracefully. Because if you can give a good apology, you take a moment of rupture, of harm, of conflict, and you can actually transform it into a moment of connection. And I think it's about vulnerability. So, how do you give a good apology? I have no idea. And frankly, I don't care who knows it. So, if that disappoints you, then how's this for an apology? Sorry, losers. How do you give a good apology? All right, next one. How do I communicate that I hate someone at work so they know it but can't prove it? Okay. Okay. Hold up. Why are we trying to communicate hatred in this situation? We shouldn't, right? We should not be communicating that. If you and another person already have this existing feud, then, take that as an opportunity in that moment to do something different, right? To extend to them, everything you possibly can to make a concerted effort, if you will. And by the way, it's got to be a concerted effort, right? I want a whole concert of effort. If only because the word concerted, it just isn't used that much. It's basically holding on for dear life to the word effort. They're stuck together. If we want concerted to continue, we're going to need more concerted efforts. It's a bit like fell and swoops. Fell is now limited just to swoops. There was back in the day, all kinds of things were fell. Felons, presumably, were fell. But now it's just limited to swoops. So in a fell swoop of a concerted effort, go to your enemy and extend to them words of not hatred, but compassion, kindness, love, and respect. Not just because this is the right thing to do, but because it will drive them up the wall. Nothing makes you go coconuts like someone who hates you saying nice things to you. about how much they respect you, what a class act they think you are. You know what they think, but you can't pin them down. Kindness is key, folks. Kindness is key. You know what? Let's follow up on what's getting to be kind of a series here. Pickles, kind of a subset on Midwestern English as a second language, MSL. So we had talked a couple episodes ago, I think, about how in a Midwestern conversation, if you're not sure what to say, you can hold up your end of the conversation the entire time by just saying the words, "There you go." And then we talked again about how there's different kind of regional variants. Another possibility here, this is just for restaurants, okay? In the Midwest, almost every side of the transaction between customer and wait staff can be handled by a single phrase. The same phrase from both sides. That phrase, all set. So let's say you show up with your party at the host stand. They're going to look you over, see if everyone's there, and they're going to say, all set? And you're going to say, all set. And they're going to take you to a place to get your menus. And then when the server wants to know if you are ready to order, they're going to say, all set? And you're going to say, all set. And then you're going to order. And when the order is done, you're going to say, all set. Then your food's going to arrive. When everyone's got their food, the server will say, all set? And you're going to say, all set. About a few minutes later, they're going to check on you to see if the food's doing okay, everything's right with the order. They will say, all set? And you will say, all set. Then, when the food is just about done, the server will think, oh, are they ready for their bill? Instead of saying, are you ready for the check? They'll say, all set? And you'll say, all set. Then they will give you the bill. And then when you put the card on the little thing or the money down, you'll look at them and say, all set. And if there's no change, you'll say, all set. Or even if there is, all set. Entire time. Once you start realizing how often this phrase is used in Midwest to get through all kinds of restaurant diner situations, you can't unhear it. It's fundamental to how Midwesterners transact themselves in that situation. Okay. All right, here's the next one. This one, by the way, I had to take a lot of notes on because it is involved. Maybe the most involved pickle we've had yet, but it's a serious one. We're selling Girl Scout cookies, but there are 3 other troops in our area. We even are at the same Kroger on different days. How do we get folks to buy from our troop as opposed to the others? Okay, 1, if you're selling Girl Scout cookies and what you're offering is Girl Scout cookies, you're a loser. Okay, folks? You're a loser because you're going about this all wrong. Now, I apologize for being a little amped up on this. To get ready, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to crush it at sales. So we are now, the next few minutes, in the Jordan Belfort, Glengarry, Glen Ross School of Girl Scout Cookie Sales. We're going to get this thing done, folks. Okay? So don't be a loser. Follow these basic steps. You have to understand, if you're selling Girl Scout cookies and everyone else is, then what you've got on your hands is a commodity. You're not competing on price because it's the same. You're not competing on product line because it's all the same. You've got to find a way to differentiate yourself. And one of the worst things you can do in that situation is to ask people, do you want to buy Girl Scout cookies? What are the possible answers there? Okay. 1, no. You've lost the prospect. 2, maybe later. Guess what? You just lost the prospect. 3, yes, they buy the cookies, except any troop could have said that. So you're at the mercy of the other troops not asking that question. It's not going to work for you. So, 2, how are you going to sell Girl Scout cookies? You are going to take control of the situation. You have got 4 seconds, folks. 4 seconds to go up to the prospect and control the narrative. And it comes down to what question you ask, okay? When you ask them, do you want to buy Girl Scout cookies? Think about that. No one wants to buy Girl Scout cookies, right? No one wants to buy something. They want them. So a slightly better question was, do you want to buy Girl Scout cookies? No. Do you want Girl Scout cookies? Interesting. Now it's a little bit better. Even better question. Do you like Girl Scout cookies? Everyone likes Girl Scout cookies. So they're going to say yes. And that first yes lubricates the rest of your sale. Folks, it's as simple as that. Take control of the narrative. 3, don't sell cookies. Remember again, they are a commodity. Everyone's selling exactly the same cookies. What you need to be selling is a story about the Girl Scouts. If I was talking to other salespeople, I'd say, don't sell the product, sell yourself. I am not saying that about the Girl Scouts. Instead, you need a better question, right? Because think about it, the Girl Scouts. What are the Girl Scouts? Girl Scouts were not founded as a bakery with an eccentric distribution model. Girl Scouts are not a cookie delivery system. So what you should ask them is, hey, mister, hey, ma'am, hey, mix, do you want to help the Girl Scouts make the world a better place? Now just watch them try and say no to that. They may try, but remember, they're in the Kroger vestibule. Everyone will hear them, and they will be publicly shamed. They can't. Now you've got them on the hook. Okay. Now, once you've got that, some of them may think that they could say no to that. Still, they're wrong. There's no way they're going to get out of these cookies. Next thing, don't sell the cookie again, right? You're selling a story about the Girl Scouts. You want to sell them a story, too, about themselves and their connection. Sell them on the impact of the Girl Scouts. So that you say, with your support, we'll be able to, and then you'll point to a poster board with pictures of the Girl Scouts doing things. This poster board, very important, needs to be shoddily put together. One of the moms, Tara, will try to take over the whole thing and make it extra perfect. Okay? That's what she does because she needs to be important. Do not let her. Or let her do it. Throw it away. Use the one you made with the other kids who are incompetent at this stuff. It's got to have pictures of Girl Scouts cleaning a park, stacking a food pantry, curing leprosy. And while they're looking at it, it's kind of a bonus. While they're looking at it, say, hey, can you guess what percentage of profits go right back to the troop? Here's what you have to know about people. People are cynical. They're garbage, basically. They're going to lowball the number because they don't want to seem naive. They're going to say something, most high 60s. You're going to say, actually, it's 76%. This is a true number, by the way. Now, they've just tricked themselves then into buying the cookies because it has a bigger impact than they expected. They have to at that point. All right. So 5, you're going to bond with the prospect at that point. You're going to say, hey, were you ever a Girl Scout? If they say yes, you got the cookies. If they say no, here's what you have to know. They wish they had been. Everyone wishes they were a Girl Scout. Have an extra vest and say, hey, would you like to try on this vest? Hold it to them. Put it into their hands. Watch them look at the badges. Watch them think to themselves, had I been a Girl Scout, I could have found camaraderie. I could have found purpose. I could have built self-esteem instead of what I am now, which is an adult with a hole in me, which I could only fill with Girl Scout cookies. It's true. Or if they say, hey, no, I wasn't, but my mom was, then you will say, oh, what was her favorite flavor? And then you got it. That leads us to the next step. I think it's somewhere on 6. This is where you make the sale, basically. Now, don't ask them which kind of cookie do you want. Way too obvious. And at that point, they're like, do you know what? I love the cookies, but I don't really need it right now. Never do that because you've made it again about the cookies. Don't do it. You pick 4 Girl Scouts. You have each of them strap one flavor of the cookies to their heads, and you say, which team are you on? Are you on Team Samoas? Are you on Team Thin Mints? Are you on Team Tagalongs? And ask them to pick which Girl Scout they like best. They're not going to be able to. They can't. What kind of monster would do that? They'll pick at least 2. And now they're yours. You give them the box of cookies before they've said they want to buy them. but not from the Girl Scouts that are having on their heads. You pick not a Girl Scout, but a brownie. One of the small ones, preferably with gap teeth, someone barely able to pronounce the syllables thank you. Have them thrust the box of cookies into the prospect's hands. And at that point, folks, it's done. It's done. Now, there may be some people at the end, I call them wrigglers, because they are worms. They're on the hook, but they don't even realize it. They think they can get away with not buying a box of cookies, and they're right. So what you do at that moment is you nod and say, that's okay, and then you turn your head to the donation jar. They're going to follow your eyes to the jar, and you say, oh, all donations go directly to the troop. At that point, folks, please, no one's escaping you then. They've just argued themselves into giving you money directly. No one needs to track that money, by the way, whatsoever. No one knows what happens to it. 100% the proceeds. I know some of you are going to criticize me for this approach, and to which I say, what have you done for the Girl Scouts lately? I'm out here empowering youth to make a difference, to clean parks, to cure leprosy. How many lepers have you cured ever? Meanwhile, in one episode of Pickles, I'm doing all this stuff for the Girl Scouts because I believe in what they do. All right, folks, I want to help you as well. If you have situations there where you need some spin doctoring, some talking points, the lines are open. You can leave a comment on the YouTube version of this episode or email me at helpme.pickles@gmail.com. At this point, I've got a kind of a wealth of prompts to maybe get me through this season. That said, there could be better ones. I'm not going to lie. I'm always looking for the very best prompts. So send me something, and then I want to stock up for seasons ahead. So, until next time, I'm Mir Baghdacci, and this has been Pickles.